One day, people will wait hours just to taste your food. Your restaurants will glow in the biggest cities on earth. Your logo will appear on food trucks, on delivery bags, inside airport halls, and on family dinner tables. The company you build will feed millions. But today, you are 7 years old. You are standing behind a streetcar with your mother. The rain is falling. The stove is almost out of gas. The last pot of soup is getting cold, and your family does not have enough money to buy tomorrow's ingredients. Your mother keeps stirring anyway. She smiles at every person who walks past. Most of them do not stop. Some look at the rain. Some look at the old cart. Some look at the cheap plastic bowls. Then keep walking. You do not understand business yet, but you understand the sound of an empty coin box. You understand the way your mother's smile gets smaller near the end of the night. When the rain gets heavier, she covers the pot with one hand and pulls you closer with the other. She gives the last bowl to an old man who has no money. You whisper that he did not pay. Your mother says, "Hungry people remember kindness longer than prices." You do not know it yet, but that sentence will become the first recipe you ever learn. That night, you sit on the floor of your apartment. Your shoes are still wet. Your shirt smells like smoke, garlic, and rain. Your mother counts coins at the kitchen table. Your father is not there. He left years ago, and the only thing he left behind is an old cooking knife with a cracked handle. Your mother says the knife is too sharp for you, so you hold a spoon instead. You stir water in a metal cup, pretending it is soup. You add imaginary salt. You add imaginary onions. You add imaginary chicken. Then you taste it and smile like it is perfect. For the first time, you understand that food can be a way to imagine a better day. From that day on, you spend every free hour beside the cart. You wash bowls in cold water. You wipe the counter. You carry onions from the market. You learn which customers are in a hurry, which customers are lonely, which customers want extra spice, and which customers pretend they are not hungry. Your mother does not own a restaurant. She does not have a kitchen staff. She does not have a sign bright enough to see from the end of the street. She has a dented pot, a tired stove, 2 folding chairs, and hands that always smell like ginger and smoke. But to you, the cart feels like a tiny kingdom. Every bowl has a problem. Too salty, too cold, too slow, too small, and every problem leaves a clue. If you are patient enough to listen. At school, you are quiet. Other kids draw superheroes, mansions, and race cars. You draw bowls, steam, tables, and kitchens that do not exist yet. Your teacher tells you to stop drawing menus in math class. Your classmates laugh when you say you want to feed a whole city. But you keep drawing. You draw a kitchen with clean floors. You draw a line of people waiting outside. You draw workers wearing matching aprons. You draw your mother standing near the stove, not tired, not worried, not counting coins. One afternoon, a rich office worker stops at the cart. His coat costs more than the cart. His watch shines under the streetlight. He asks if this food is safe. Your mother nods politely. He tastes 1 spoonful, then goes quiet. For 1 second. You think he understands? Then he complains that the bowl is too simple, throws down a few coins, and walks away. You watch him disappear into a glass building. For the first time, you understand something. Some people eat under chandeliers. Some people cook in the rain. And your family is on the wrong side of that window. At 11, you start helping before school. You wake up while the city is still dark. You carry bags of rice. You peel garlic until your fingers burn. You chop vegetables slowly, carefully, badly at first. The first time your mother lets you season the soup, you use too much salt. The second time, you use too little. The third time, an old woman smiles and asks who cooked today. You do not say anything. Your face gets hot. Your mother laughs for the first time that week. Soon you start remembering every regular customer. The bus driver wants more broth. The nurse wants no chili. The construction worker wants extra noodles. The school janitor always saves half for his daughter. You write it all in a cheap notebook under your bed. Not recipes only. People. Because you begin to realize food is never just food. It is timing. It is memory. It is dignity in a paper bowl. At 16, you work in other people's kitchens. After school, you wash dishes in a cheap diner. At night, you sweep floors in a bakery. On weekends, you carry crates behind a hotel kitchen. You see beautiful plates go to rich tables. You see leftover food thrown away while workers eat bread in the alley. You see chefs scream. You see managers cut corners. You see old oil used one more day, cheap meat hidden under sauce, and vegetables served long after they should be gone. You make mistakes too. You burn rice. You drop trays. You cut your thumb. You forget an order. People shout at you. Some laugh at you. Some tell your mother you are wasting your life. And more than once, your mother stays awake after midnight, helping you practice the same cut again and again. You hate that feeling. You hate knowing she has to carry you. So you start working slower. You taste everything twice, then 3 times. You stop pretending you know answers. You listen to cooks, cashiers, drivers, and customers who have only 5 minutes to eat. One winter evening, your mother gets sick. Her hands shake too much to hold the ladle. The rain comes back like it did years ago. A line forms at the cart anyway. Bus drivers, night workers, students, and people who know your mother by name. She tells you to close early. But an old taxi driver says, "Please, I have not eaten since morning." So you tie on the apron. You stand on the small crate behind the counter. Your hands shake. The stove hisses. The soup boils too fast. You almost spill the first bowl. You almost forget the spice. Then you breathe. You remember the notebook? More broth for the bus driver. No chili for the nurse. Extra noodles for the construction worker. Half in a second cup for the janitor's daughter. By the end of the night, the pot is empty. The coin box is full. Your mother is crying quietly behind you. You do not sleep that night. You keep hearing the ladle hit the side of the pot. At 20, you open your first street food stand. It is not a restaurant. It is barely a stand. 1 borrowed stove, 1 folding table, 3 plastic stools, and a roof made from a torn blue tarp. You paint the name yourself. The letters are uneven. The paint drips down the wood. But when you hang it above the stand, it feels like a flag. Hearth Bowl, that is the name. Because you want every bowl to feel warm, even for people who have nowhere warm to go. Your first customers are not influencers. They are taxi drivers, students, delivery riders, factory workers, janitors, and parents who count coins before ordering. They do not ask for luxury. They ask one question. Will this fill me up today? Again and again, you hear the same pain. Food is too expensive. Good food takes too long. Cheap food makes people sick. And every meal feels like a choice between money and respect. You begin to understand the real restaurant market. The world does not need another golden plate for people who already have everything. The world needs food ordinary people can trust. The first dish is simple. Rice, broth, slow-cooked vegetables, a soft egg, and 1 spoon of chili oil your mother taught you to make. It is not fancy. It is not photogenic. It does not belong in a luxury magazine. But it is warm. It is fast. It tastes the same every time. And it costs less than a bus ticket. The first week is slow. The second week is worse. You almost quit on a Thursday night. Then a factory worker brings 2 friends. The next day, those friends bring 4 more. Soon delivery riders are eating before their shifts. Students sit on the curb with steaming bowls. Taxi drivers park badly just to get in line. One customer asks if you can make 20 bowls for his night crew. You say yes before you know how. That order changes everything. You buy a bigger pot, then a second stove, then a used refrigerator that rattles like a train. For the first time, the stand feels too small for the dream inside it. At 23, you try to open a real restaurant. An investor hears about the line outside your stand. He visits wearing a clean white shirt that looks wrong beside the smoke. He watches the lunch rush. He sees the notebook. He sees customers come back without being reminded. And he writes you a check. For the first time, someone with money believes you might become more than a street cook. You rent a small restaurant near an office district. You buy real tables. You buy real plates. You hire cooks, servers, and a manager who talks faster than you think. The investor wants a bigger menu. Office workers want more options. The manager wants higher prices. You say yes too many times. Soon the menu has 20 dishes. The kitchen is crowded. The cooks are confused. The stand that once served one perfect bowl becomes a restaurant trying to be everything. Then comes opening night. Food bloggers arrive. Office workers arrive. The investor arrives with friends. Your mother stands near the back, quiet, proud, worried. For a few minutes, everything works. Then the rice runs out. The broth gets too salty. 2 orders burn. 3 tables wait too long. A server drops a tray. Someone finds cold food in the middle of the bowl. Someone records the kitchen door swinging open, showing cooks shouting over each other. By morning, the video is online. Street food star fails indoors. Hearth bowl loses its soul. Cheap soup becomes expensive disaster. The investor pulls out. The manager quits. Cooks stop answering your calls. Customers stop coming. Bills pile up. Your landlord changes the locks. The restaurant is gone. You stand outside with your apron in one hand and the broken sign in the other. For the first time since you were 7, you feel hungry in a way food cannot fix. You go back to work anywhere that will take you. You prep vegetables in a supermarket kitchen. You deliver meals on a scooter at night. You wash dishes after weddings. You carry boxes in a restaurant supply warehouse. And you try not to think about Hearth Bowl. But the warehouse is full of food businesses, small cafes, school cafeterias, hospital kitchens, food trucks, family diners, and delivery-only kitchens no customer ever sees. Every break, workers talk about the same things. Spoiled ingredients, late deliveries, long waits, dirty kitchens, prices people cannot afford, and meals that never taste the same twice. One night, an old cafeteria cook sits beside you on a loading dock. She has fed factory workers for 30 years. Her hands are cracked. Her apron is stained. But she talks about lunch like it is sacred. She says, people do not need a perfect restaurant. They need a meal that does not betray them. That sentence stays with you. You write it on a cardboard box. Then you write it again in your notebook. A meal that does not betray you. That becomes the idea. Not luxury. Not trends, not status, trust. Speed, clean kitchens, fair prices, and one bowl that tastes the same whether you buy it at noon or midnight. At 26, you start again. This time, you do not build a restaurant around a dream menu. You build a system around one honest meal. Small kitchen, short menu, measured recipes, fresh ingredients, visible counters, clean tools, fast service. You call the company Hearth Bowl Kitchens. The office is an abandoned print shop. The floor is cracked. The windows rattle in the wind. There is no receptionist. No marble bar. No celebrity chef wall. There is only you. One cook who believes in the idea. One delivery rider who agrees to help after his shift. And your mother's old knife mounted above a folding table. The first kitchen is ugly. The lights buzz. The freezer door sticks. The chairs do not match. The bowls are plain, but the food is right, and when the food is right, people forgive almost everything else. The first people to test it are not critics. They are delivery riders. They are nurses. They are night guards. They are warehouse workers. They know exactly what matters. Price, speed, portion size, cleanliness, and whether the meal still tastes good after a long shift. They insult the chairs. They complain about the lighting. They laugh at the tiny counter, but at the end of the test, one nurse asks the question that changes everything. Can I bring my whole team tomorrow? The first order is for 30 bowls. Not 3,000. Not 300. 30. But you stare at the order like it is a miracle. You cannot afford a real central kitchen, so you cook the first 30 bowls by hand. Your team sleeps on office floors. Your mother comes after work to help. Sometimes the gas shuts off. Sometimes vegetables arrive late. Sometimes you realize one mistake will ruin the whole morning. But the bowls leave the kitchen. One by one, they go into the city. At first, no one notices. Then nurses start posting pictures. Delivery riders start telling each other where to eat. Factory workers start coming in groups. Parents start buying 2 bowls. One for now, one for later. The food is not fancy, but it is honest. It is warm. It is fast. It is clean. And for people counting every dollar, That matters more than candlelight. Orders rise, 30 becomes 80, 80 becomes 200, 200 becomes a waiting list. You rent a bigger kitchen, then a second one. You hire cooks, drivers, cleaners, cashiers, trainers, accountants, and people whose job titles you barely understand. You are no longer just cooking food. You are building a system that protects food from becoming careless. That is harder. Stoves break, suppliers lie, managers rush, employees quit, investors demand faster growth. Competitors mock you online. They call your food boring. They say nobody dreams about a bowl of rice. Maybe they are right. But every day, your bowls feed nurses between shifts, drivers before routes, students before exams, and parents too tired to cook. You are not building dream food. You are building food people can depend on. That becomes your strength. Then the crisis hits. At the worst possible moment, reports start coming in. People are getting sick. Not everywhere. Not most people, but enough. A school lunch order is thrown away. A delivery rider posts a video from outside a hospital. A mother says her child got sick after dinner. No one dies, but trust does. The headlines are brutal. Hearth Bowl promised clean food and failed. Cheap meals, dangerous shortcuts. Founder grew too fast. Your board wants a quiet fix. Blame one supplier. Close only the worst kitchens. Deny the larger problem. Protect the expansion. Survive the quarter. You sit in the meeting and hear the same kind of fear you heard in your mother's voice years ago. The fear of running out of options. But this time, you have a choice. You walk into a live interview. You look into the camera. And you admit the truth. The system is not good enough. The company grew too fast. Every affected customer will get a refund. Every kitchen will be inspected. Every supplier will be replaced if they failed. And until the kitchens are clean again, you will not take a salary. The next 6 weeks almost destroy Hearth Bowl. Money burns. Investors panic. Kitchens close. Competitors celebrate. You sleep on a narrow couch beside the test kitchen. Inspectors walk through every location. Cooks retrain from the beginning. Drivers wait outside closed doors. Customers shout at you. Some thank you. Most just want to trust dinner again. Your mother watches silently. She does not say she told you so. She only sharpens the old knife and starts cutting vegetables beside you. Then the new system works. In small kitchens, in busy kitchens, during lunch rush, during midnight deliveries, under pressure. Hearth Bowl returns, but now it carries something stronger than marketing. It carries a story. The company made a mistake and fixed it in public. Trust comes back slowly. Then quickly, hospital orders return. Factory orders return. Families return. Cities return. The next version of Hearth Bowl is better. The kitchens are cleaner. The training is clearer. The recipes are simpler. The supply chain is safer. And the food tastes more like the first cart than ever before. Then come breakfast bowls, school meals, family dinner packs, airport kitchens, delivery hubs, and small neighborhood restaurants built for people who cannot waste time or money. Hearth Bowl expands beyond your country. First one central kitchen, then 3, then 7. Your food arrives in ports, deserts, mountain towns, crowded cities, and quiet suburbs. You see your logo on food trucks, on delivery bags, inside airport halls, and on family dinner tables. Exactly like the future you could not imagine as a child. At 56, you stand inside the central kitchen of a company that feeds millions. Behind the glass, hundreds of cooks move like a quiet orchestra. Rice steams in giant pots. Broth simmers in silver tanks. Vegetables are washed, cut, checked, and packed with the same care your mother demanded at the cart. The newest restaurant is not the most expensive in the world. It does not have golden plates. It does not have private rooms for people with private gates. It is built for the people you grew up serving. The ones who count coins before ordering. The ones who eat between shifts. The ones who need dinner to be safe, warm, fast, and honest. After the opening, you return to the old street. The cart is no longer there. The sidewalk has been repaired. The glass building still shines across the road. On one wall inside your first training kitchen, in a simple frame, is the old cracked cooking knife. Beside it is a photograph of your mother at the cart. The photo is faded. The tarp is torn. The pot is dented. But you remember the child standing beside it. The child with wet shoes. The child who heard an empty coin box. The child who learned that hungry people remember kindness longer than prices. You were never born into a restaurant empire. You built one bowl, one customer, one honest meal at a time.